Good afternoon and welcome to another training for V-Insights. Hopefully you found the other overview and average calls training helpful. I think the overview and the average calls per day V-Insights information is kind of nice to know. We're starting to get into more of the meat and potatoes and I think some of the money graphs as we look through the next reports. As you can see, I'm actually just going to use my iPad on the rest of these because that's predominantly where we're going to be using and accessing these reports from is from our iPads. And the sales action plan analysis, I will just send out a little bit of information via email on that one. Mine currently is not working, so I'll send out a couple of slides in regards to sales action plans. But just know that those primarily help identify how you are doing versus the call plan. And keep in mind that planned really means committed details. Now as we get into efforts versus results, let's keep in mind this is great to determine the success of initiatives of territory specific to any territory goals that you might have. You can drill down to see how specific territory goals affect each prescriber, and helps to see probably the best how we're utilizing resources in our territories. So like I said, this is what we're going to be using. Effort versus result. Report is up. And the nice thing about this, once again, you have lots of drop downs. You can save filters. You can change the data type from TRX to NRX and DDD units as well. And for this particular training, we'll just leave it at TRX. You can see the call activity. You have the edit button there. You can change that as well. Your call types, which you can also edit and change, and you can change the time frame as well, which is really pretty slick on these reports. That's really nice. Lots of options and different ways to build these charts. Sometimes if you get too much data beyond 13 weeks, 6 months, they become kind of an eye chart and hard to read. But as you click on these items, just remember that if you change anything, you will need to click the build chart button, which is grayed out right now. It would actually pop up and ask you to hit build chart, and that will actually populate all the information for you. And you can kind of see here your activity versus sales. This is my cool little pointer dude right here. Nice. Hopefully it doesn't scare anybody. But anyway, you can kind of see how the number of activities affect your TRX, your NRX, as we mentioned up on top there, or the DDD units. Lots of different resources available. You can also see over here, I kind of like this chart the best because it gives a very nice summary of the activity details for the period that is selected. And you can really see at a glance, I think, easier in this particular graph versus the other graphs, how your initiatives are doing and how your effort and results are weighing out. And you can green, yellow, and red, which are very easy to see and identify. And you can see once again, TRX, market share. You can scroll up on this as well. You can see activity versus market share percentages, activity by territory, and this is, I think, another nice piece of this particular report. You see top accounts, and there's 97 that I have total in my territory. And once again here, the nice thing about this is you can zoom in by prescriber to see how the resources, whether it be details or promotional items, ramp letters, samples, are affecting growth within that particular account. You can see growth percentages and percent of product sales, which is nice just to kind of show how your efforts are paying off within particular accounts. The other cool thing too is if you click on the particular account, it actually zooms into that account information. You can pull up that specific provider and delve into more detail, which is great. The particular tabs that I really like here, you can see up at the top there, addresses, interactions, key messages, how many of each of those items have been utilized. You can edit, you can see the account summary, the hierarchy. As we saw in training, you can actually record an interaction specifically and directly from this screen if you have not logged it in IREP. Also, the cool thing here is you can pull up fingertip formulary for various disease states, and for us naturally the most important would be fingertip formulary for diabetes. I'm going to click that real quick. Let it load, and I can see fingertip formulary. Information, which is nice to be able to delve into. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back over to my account, and then I'm just going to hit the back button up on top here to take me back into V-Insights and the particular graph I was looking at. And that, folks, is a little bit about effort versus results report. Give it a second to build, and just be patient with them, but I think it's a great tool for us to be able to have accessible out in the field from either our iPads, which we'll use the most, or via the laptop. If you guys have any questions in regards to this particular report, feel free to give me a call. Otherwise, just have fun playing with it and seeing the pieces that are most important to you within the graph and that will help you to drive results. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.